Health anxiety wants you to believe that your body is the problem. It wants you to monitor every symptom. It wants you to chase down every sensation. It wants you to assume that whatever you're feeling in your body, that's the problem. That's the thing that's wrong. And unfortunately, that's just not true. And I know this because symptoms always show up after your brain has gone on to high alert. If you have health anxiety, and this is something that people will ask you to give them thousands of dollars for. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you because I love you. If you have health anxiety, at some point, whether that was a moment or whether that was a season of your life or whatever, at some point in your life, something happened that made your brain say, I never want to feel that way again. And so it did what it was created to do. It tried to protect you. And it told your nervous system to stand guard. And that's awesome, except for when your nervous system stands guard for too long and it does it too well, it causes you to be super hyper aware of everything. Every heartbeat, every breath, every shift in your body, everything. And every time something feels off, your nervous system will convey that back to your brain, and your brain will hit the alarm because it truly believes that it's keeping you safe. And so now, when you feel these symptoms, okay, whether that's heart palpitations or that's dizziness or headaches or tingling or whatever your scary thing is, all of that scary stuff causes you to do one of two things. Okay, first, the first group, Group A, you guys are so terrified of what the doctor's going to say that you just don't go. And I'm going to hold your hand while I say this, but I have to say this because I have to tell you the truth. If that's you, you're in that category, that's really silly. And I'll tell you why. Because if I were dying, I would want to know that I was dying. That's because knowing that you're dying is better than feeling like you're dying. Because at least when you know that you're dying, it will help you put action behind that. If you knew that you were dying, you would do things that you've never done. You would spend time with the people that you love the most. On the other hand, feeling like you're dying causes you to become super isolated. You become super agoraphobic and you just stay at home under the covers, just you and your anxiety, right? Just you and your symptoms, right? So knowing that you're dying is better than feeling like you're dying, okay? So if that's you, if you're in that category, go to the doctor. I understand white coat syndrome. I understand, like, I get super nervous. I understand my blood pressure shoots up every time I go. That's fine. That's good. Doesn't matter. You have to go. You have to know for sure that everything's good. Okay? That's the first group. The second group, this is the group that I was in. You go to the doctor for everything. So all of these sensations, the racing heart and the dizziness and all that stuff, that causes you to go back and you go to the doctor over and over and over, and you go see all of these specialists and you go get all of these tests. And for what? A clean bill of health. And that makes you feel really good and you feel awesome until that happens like 43 times. And then you start to think that maybe either the doctor is wrong or that something's wrong with you. They can't find this. And okay, so if my body isn't broken, then it must be my brain. My brain is broken. I'm going crazy. I'm losing my mind. All this stuff, right? Your brain is not broken. It's overwhelmed. It's scared. It's trying to protect you from something that it's never processed. That's why it latches on to every sensation. That's why it's like, hey, look at this. Hey, look over here. Hey, make an appointment for this. What is that? Have we felt that before? It's because it's trying to keep you from reliving something that it's never understood. That's why more tests don't solve it. More doctor's visits don't solve it. Googling doesn't solve it. ChatGPT doesn't solve it. It's because the issue is not medical, it is emotional, right? So when you go to the doctor and they don't find anything wrong, and you do that 100 times, the problem is not the doctor. The doctors, they're trained to find and heal things that are wrong. If there's nothing wrong, what are they supposed to do? This is not a physical issue. This is an emotional issue. And there are people, and it may be you, but there are people that are like, dude, my childhood was great. I didn't have any trauma. Like my parents, they didn't get divorced or any of this kind of stuff. No one abused me. However, nobody did any of that kind of thing to me. Like my childhood was pretty sick. That's awesome. But here's what people don't understand is that trauma does not have to be this big, elaborate, dramatic thing. It can be very subtle. Trauma can look like living in a sibling's shadow. It can look like losing a parent at a young age, growing up without a parent. It can look like feeling unsafe, unvalued, unworthy, unprotected at a very young age. And all of these things store that fear in your body, and they come out in very, very, very physical ways because your nervous system is completely overwhelmed, right? You could have the most ideal childhood known to man, and your body can still carry things that were never talked about and never addressed. Okay? The only way, this is the whole point of the video. The only way out of health anxiety is not around it, is not to numb yourself through addiction or through any of that stuff. The only way out is through. Listen, medication is a great tool. I am not anti-medication. Medication is a great tool if it's used properly. Medication will never be the solution. Medication will never tell you why things are happening to you, right? Medication is intended to help calm down those symptoms long enough for you to work through the why. Medication helps with the what is happening, the physical symptoms, all of that stuff. It can help with, the racing heart or like whatever the thing is. It can help with the what. It will never solve why, right? You're not supposed to be on medication for 40 years. That doesn't make any sense. There's no medication. They're like, yeah, give it a good 40-year run, right? That's not the way this works. Dr. John Deloney says it like this. He says medication is like popping the batteries out of a smoke detector, right? It'll silence the alarms, but your house is still on fire. So if you're on medication, that's fantastic. I don't have a problem with that. Use that medication, but in those moments where those symptoms are quiet, you have to start working on the why. Okay? The only way out of health anxiety is through it. Through the healing, through the truth, through the stuff that you've been running from. Okay? Your symptoms are not a sign of disease. They are a sign of distress. Okay? Your body is not failing, it's fighting. Okay? You are not dying. You're just scared. And scared people can heal, but only if they stop running from the thing that they're afraid of. Freedom starts when you stop running from fear. Okay? That's the work that changes everything. If you need help, reach out to me. I got you. The link's in my bio. Love you guys. Peace.